I waited until the confetti cannon popped blue to tell my wife that I knew her secret. Most men would have screamed. Most men would have packed their bags the moment they found the text messages. But I am not most men. I decided that if she was going to ruin my life, I was going to turn her life into a spectator sport. This is the story of how I planned the most brutal revenge in family history, and why my mother-in-law is currently threatening to sue me for emotional distress. You are watching Confession Journal. My wife, let's call her Sarah, and I have been married for 5 years. For the last 2 years, we have been trying for a baby. It was heartbreaking. Negative test after negative test. Sarah was depressed. I was exhausted. Finally, I decided to go to a specialist privately, just to check if the problem was me. I went in on a Tuesday. I got the call on a Friday. The doctor told me very gently that I had a condition called azoospermia. Basically, my factory is closed. 0 count. It is medically impossible for me to father a child without serious intervention. I was devastated. I drove home ready to cry on Sarah's shoulder and talk about adoption. But when I walked through the door, Sarah was beaming. She was holding a gift box. She handed it to me with tears in her eyes. I opened it. Inside was a positive pregnancy test. She screamed, "We did it! It's a miracle!" I stood there, frozen. My doctor had just told me I was sterile, which meant one of two things. Either this was the second coming of Christ, or my wife was lying. I didn't say anything. I hugged her. I smiled. I even cried a little, but my tears weren't tears of joy. They were tears of pure rage, because I realized right then and there, I knew exactly who the real father was. Sarah had been spending a lot of time with her work husband, Mark. Mark was the guy she told me not to worry about. Mark was the guy who came to our BBQs and shook my hand. I needed proof. So, while Sarah was in the shower, I did something I never thought I would do. I checked her deleted folder, and there it was. A text from 3 weeks ago. It read, "He is going to the doctor today. What if he finds out?" And Mark's reply, "Just tell him it's a miracle. He is too dumb to question it." Too dumb. That phrase bounced around my skull for 3 days. They thought I was an idiot. They thought I was just an ATM machine to pay for their life and their baby. I wanted to confront her immediately. I wanted to throw her out on the street. But then I remembered the baby shower was in 2 months. Her entire family would be there. My entire family would be there. And Mark had been invited as a close family friend. It was too perfect. So I started planning. I hired a private investigator to get photos of them meeting up. I got a second medical opinion just to be 100% sure about my sterility, and I prepared a PowerPoint presentation. The day of the baby shower arrived. It was a beautiful backyard party. There were balloons everywhere. There was a cake that cost $300. Sarah looked beautiful. Mark was there, drinking my beer, smiling at me. Halfway through the party, it was time for speeches. My father-in-law gave a speech about how proud he was. Then it was my turn. I tapped the microphone. "Can everyone gather round?" I asked. "I have a special tribute for Sarah." Sarah smiled, expecting a romantic montage. I connected my laptop to the big projector screen we had set up for photos. "I want to talk about honesty," I started. "And I want to talk about miracles." The first slide popped up. It was my medical diagnosis. "As you can see here," I read aloud, "Dr. Smith confirmed on November 1st that I am completely sterile." The crowd went silent. You could hear a pin drop. Sarah's face went pale white. "So," I continued, "when Sarah told me she was pregnant 3 days later, I was confused." I clicked to the next slide. It was the screenshot of the text messages between Sarah and Mark. The one calling me too dumb. The entire backyard erupted. Sarah's mom gasped. My mom dropped her wine glass. Mark tried to sneak away toward the gate. "Mark, don't leave!" I shouted into the microphone. "You're the guest of honor." I clicked to the final slide. It was a photo the private investigator took of them kissing in Mark's car. "I am filing for divorce on Monday," I said calmly. "The house is in my name. I have already packed Sarah's bags. They are on the front porch. And Mark, congratulations, you're going to be a dad." I dropped the microphone, and I walked back inside my house, locked the door, and poured myself a drink while chaos exploded in the backyard. That was 3 months ago. Here is the update you have been waiting for. Sarah tried to beg for forgiveness. She claimed it was a moment of weakness. She claimed Mark meant nothing to her. But the moment Mark found out he was on the hook for child support, he blocked her number. So now she is alone. Her parents are so embarrassed they haven't spoken to her in weeks. As for me, The divorce went through smoothly because we had a prenup. I kept the house. I kept my savings. And yesterday I went on a date with a woman who actually respects me. The best part? Sarah sent me a letter yesterday asking for money to help with the medical bills. For the delivery, I mailed it back to her with a single sticky note attached. It said, "Ask Mark, he's not too dumb to pay." The lesson here is simple. Never underestimate the man you think is a fool. And never, ever, leave your deleted folder open. Thanks for watching Confession Journal. Subscribe for more stories where the good guys win.